I'm going to get out of here with one more. I just want to talk about the White Sox just really quickly. Again, for the 1,000th time, please do not trade Garret Crochet. It's not a great idea. I don't care who you're getting back. Whoever you're getting back is an unknown. And whoever you're getting back, you're going to be looking for the next Garret Crochet. You already have Garret Crochet. He's 24 years old with 2 years of control. He's about to be an all-star, and people are talking about him possibly starting the all-star game. You don't get rid of players like that. I don't care if you can't sign him to a contract extension now. Pay the money in arbitration, White Sox, and hang on to him for a couple of years and revisit the deal when the time is right. They're awful. They're terrible. I don't like their manager. We all know this. It's a train wreck. But here's the deal. Summer dreaming, what if? What if the Chicago White Sox in the offseason spent some money? I know. It's like writing a letter to Santa Claus right now. I know this is basically like trying to ask the Tooth Fairy out on a date. It's never going to happen. But if you say to yourself, who are the pieces for the Chicago White Sox moving forward? Well, there are a couple right now. Luis Robert is one, obviously, unless he gets traded. I think Corey Lee's probably a split catcher DH. I don't think he's your everyday guy, but I have liked what I've seen from him. He's 22 years old. Dude's got 9 home runs right now. We'll see how he hits in the second half. I mean, it's a long season for these young kids. It's tough to maintain that consistency, so we'll see. Andrew Benintendi's not going anywhere, no matter what rumors are tried to be spun out of pure thin air that teams would actually be interested in taking on his contract. He's going to be in left field. You're just kind of hoping that the dude, he's not doing it this year. Again, when we talk about these deals, he's giving you the bad year right now. In a long contract, can he give you 1 year where he hits 280 with 10 home runs? We wouldn't be upset, would we? I don't think I would be. Andrew Vaughn, good for Andrew Vaughn. He's having a bounce back right now. I'm really rooting for him in the second half of the season because the Chicago White Sox don't have much. And if we're talking about some foundational pieces, it would be really cool if Andrew Vaughn became one of those guys that we can at least write down in pen that we can move forward with moving forward. You've got a guy like Colson Montgomery. Does he get a shot? Can he be a piece? We'll see. Is he a shortstop? Is he a third baseman? I don't know. Let's bring him up. Let's play him. Let's find out. Edgar Caro, I think, could possibly be a piece, but I'm not going to bring up too many more minor league guys because, again, until they make it to the major leagues and start hitting, it really doesn't matter. Drew Thorpe, one bad outing. The rest of them have been pretty solid. Great control, great changeup. Like what I see from him. Garret Crochet, like what I see from him. So these are the small little pieces here building towards a team that, gosh, I don't know. Can we get a team that wins 70 games to start? Maybe work our way up. We'll see. And when you're looking at the free agent class right now, it isn't great, but there are some areas to attack on both sides of town. Free agents coming up, and I know we're going to hear about this probably on the Chicago Cubs side from the trade deadline perspective, but free agents, Elias Diaz, Danny Jensen, both catchers, both probably will be traded because Toronto isn't doing much. Colorado ain't going nowhere. Those probably guys, both are probably going to be traded. They'll be free agents at the end of the year. At first base, probably not for the White Sox in this one. We already talked about it. Pete Alonso, Goldschmidt, Paul Goldschmidt, Christian Walker, they kind of head up that class. I don't see them going in that direction. Second base, Gleyber Torres. Now, that's an interesting one. Do the Chicago Cubs get back in business with Gleyber Torres in the offseason and maybe move Nico Horner to third? Something's got to happen. I don't think Christopher Morel's a third baseman, but I digress. We're talking White Sox here. I just think Gleyber Torres can be signed to a very moderate contract that makes sense where the Chicago Cubs and the White Sox could easily wrap their heads around that. At shortstop, I don't know exactly what the Chicago White Sox would do. I mean, Ahmad Rosario, great defensive player. He's going to be available. Willie Adames, what do the Milwaukee Brewers do on that one? Does anyone come in and outbid him for him? Man, now, if the White Sox weren't the White Sox, that would be the move. You go after a guy like Willie Adames, who is young, who isn't necessarily going to break the bank, someone that you can actually, another team that you can actually outbid, the Milwaukee Brewers. And he's the type of guy at the shortstop position that you could build your lineup around. I don't have huge hopes for that. Third base, Alex Bregman, having a little bit more of a bounce back season. We'll see. But in the outfield is where it kind of gets interesting. Two guys for the Chicago White Sox that I definitely think should be a target in the offseason to build moving forward. Jock Peterson, Tyler O'Neill. Two guys that provide some slug for you. They can man that right field position, something that we've struggled to figure out for years and years and years now. You can get either of them probably in a 1 to 2 short-term deal. Bring him in, figure it out. You'll be in great shape. Other guys, too, as well. Anthony Santander's having a great year. Teoscar Hernandez is having a great year. Alex Verdugo is having a great year. Michael Conforto has some power. All four of those guys aren't necessarily locks to remain with their current team. Santander, Orioles, Verdugo, Yankees, Hernandez, Dodgers, Conforto, Giants. Those guys could all easily move on. Those could be short-term solutions for the Chicago White Sox to get a little bit better and raise the floor of possibilities in actually winning baseball in 2025. And then at DH, Justin Turner, Marcell Ozuna, JD Martinez, Eloy Jimenez. Eloy Jimenez, guys, he's not going to be on the White Sox next year. They're easily going to buy him out. If the Chicago White Sox were smart about it and went short-term deals, there is a world where they don't have to lose 110, 120 games next year. They could lose more like 85, but I'm saying progress. I'm looking for progress here right now. And this is the theme of today's show, summer dreams and what ifs. What if Caleb Williams is amazing and he's a superstar? What if the Chicago Cubs sold at the deadline? What would that look like? What if the Chicago Cubs get back into the race by the end of July and actually turn into the playoff team that we hoped that they would be? And what if the Chicago White Sox actually spent some money this offseason and tried to at least get back to baseline mediocre? I'll let you decide whether those things are just summer dreamings or whether those are actual possibilities. But I wanted to walk through them today because that's what we do in the summertime, and that's what happens when Chicago sports is as bad as it is right now, is we have to start projecting in fantasy land and saying to ourselves, well, hey, to quote Angels in the Outfield, hey, it could possibly happen. That's today's show. I'm Joey Christopoulos. Thank you so much for tuning in to Sports Talk Chicago. I want to thank our producer, John Meadows, behind the controls, doing such a fantastic job every single week. Thank you so much, John. I want to thank John Zalcool for continuing to let me to sub in. I want to thank you, the viewer, for listening, watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, whether it is on Spotify, Apple for your audio-only podcast, whether it is on YouTube, whether it is with our great radio affiliates across the great state of Illinois, 98.3 The Life, WKAN, W55 The Ticket, ACTV, JED-TV, WJOB, Cities 92.9 Talk FM, or 101.1 Peoria Sports Radio. Thank you so much for coming in and supporting Sports Talk Chicago. You have a lot of options out there. The menu can be vast for your Chicago sports content, so even if you give me a couple minutes of your day, I really do appreciate it. And for those of you that are huge fans of John Zalcool, I'm a huge fan of John Zalcool. I love the guy, and I know you guys have been so loyal supporting him, and I just hope that you can continue to show that support from me as I can continue to grow on this channel, hopefully bring you some good content, bring you some good takes, give you something to think about. I'm not here to necessarily be right or wrong. I can sometimes predict things that are right. Of course, I'll call it out because I'm a maniac like that, but I'm also trying to call myself out when I'm wrong, if at all possible. I'm just trying to get you to think. We all love Chicago sports here, so I appreciate you coming in and checking it out. That's it for me today. Be well, be safe. Please be good to each other. Make sure you check out all the wonderful other content in Sports Talk Chicago, my winners and losers from the Chicago Sports Weekend, what to look forward to. Hoping to have Corey Wooten back on the pod soon. And then once Bears comes back, we're getting guests back here on this show. It isn't just going to be me solo all the time. Appreciate you coming in. Have a great week. Be well. Talk to you soon.